Yeah, okay. So, Britain's Got Talent received over 20,000 complaints for its diversity dance routine.
Oh, gosh.
Would you say this was an overreaction or response to what people are calling virtue signalling?
I can't understand why would people feel in any way aggrieved by that. This is what I'm saying when I'm saying ego over empathy.
Mm.
See what I'm saying here? Because it's sparking people's primordial reaction towards seeing something like that. And what people do, they want to hide away from it, especially in the UK. Alright? Like, everything's always seasoned and seasoned and put on a platter when it comes to racism in the UK. You know, as I said before, I remember writing something like, of American racism and UK, the two similarities is, whilst America would give you a lump of shit to eat and say, there you go. The British will give you, you know, they'll give you all the condiments that you need, a bit of English mustard, you know, HP sauce, tomato ketchup, and even a knife and fork as well. Serve up on a golden platter and say, there you are, thank you very much. You know, it's a difference there, and we can see that in the fact that we actually voted in a racist Prime Minister in Boris Johnson. You know, so when you see little things like this,
well, I'm not going to interject there because obviously there's a conversation to work out is he racist, to go delve more further into it. That's a conversation
well, we won't go into that.
Let's stay on this.
Quite a bit there.
But let's basically let the viewers, please, we'll look forward to your comments on that. You know, if you feel that you want us something to say about that and give us something.
Britain is primarily a racist country. Okay. And when I say racism, I do not mean that it means that every white person doesn't like black people and is racist to them.
The structural racism.
The structural racism. The whole hyperbole of racism. Because don't get it twisted, black people contribute to that as well.
And we're being forgotten.
Exactly.
Throughout the whole of the course. Yeah. We're still trying to find our history. We're still literally piecing it together. We're going around trying to find our history.
Well, that's the whole concept, unfortunately, of being black. This is the reasons of why they called us black, because remember originally the name was Negro, which actually means your property. It's actually a dehumanization program.
Isn't Negro black in Spain or Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish, yeah. In Greek and Spanish as well. The Spanish use negros.
So we were still black?
Yeah, but the Greek, if you look at the word necro, which means dead.
Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Necromancer.
Yeah, so that means dead. So you have... Terrible. Black, death, which is synonymous with each other. Then you have Nemo, which in Latin means no identity. Okay, so when you
we're not actually black, are we? Really?
No, we're not. We
keep putting ourselves in this thing that they've called us black, so we're just going to go with it because we're going to own it. We're going to own the world.
Yeah,
we're going to own the N word.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? The way I look at it is simple.
But it's not you, it's not me.
But
there's clearly a majority of people that seem to think that this is how we should think.
Yeah, and it's like we try and validate our blackness in a sense of like, well, we don't care. We're black and we're staying strong and we're staying proud. When really and truly, this is the whole kind of denominator into racism itself. Because when you're called deemed black, black's a derogatory word. Whatever way you want to look at it, yeah? Black is seen as evil, black is seen as dangerous, black is seen as mysterious, yeah? And my problem was, when I was younger, I learnt to read really fast. So I learnt how to actually see colours and how they use colours to describe different environments or different types of people. So where you learn about white, which is clean, spiritual, wise, unblemished, and then you look at black, which was dark, nasty, ugly, evil. So when you're actually placing that as a colour code to somebody, what kind of message are you giving to that child?
Of course. Well, that's something. I'm glad you put that out there, and I really hope that the viewers will actually listen to that and think, this is a question that people seem to be like, well, whatever, you're black and you make whatever. And I think even the people who are very pro word black, they should also think about that. What message are we giving to our children or anybody when we start saying, yeah, you're black, this is what you are. When you look in the mirror, you actually don't see that, but that's what you've been told.
It's kind of like, if you look at it this way, white people don't call themselves white to other white people. They will call themselves by their nationality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you watched that video?
There's a video.
There's an American video that some guy did a study on that whole thing. He mentioned everything you're saying here as well. So, yeah, absolutely. He was exactly what he was saying. They don't identify themselves in that way.
They don't identify.
We're the only ones that do.
So when you call black, it's kind of like a blanket over everything. And then this kind of stereotype view of what black people should be, and eugenics.
It should be like, I'm African.
Yeah,
I'm Jamaican.
But even with African, it's because Africa obviously
is a big place. Yeah, exactly. I'm from Ghana. I'm from Zambia. Whatever. Of course.
Exactly. And you have
Zambian.
You have different.
That's what it would have been. That's what it used to be. It used to be I'm Zambian.
Yeah.
And then from that tribe in Zambia.
And then when you call people black, it just encapsulates a whole group of people, you know, and we're supposed to act a certain way, but everything's derogatory, everything's negative. And the worst thing about racism is that we believe it ourselves subconsciously. That's the problem with racism more than anything. Really and truly, we actually do believe it ourselves. Okay, like even to the way that we joke and we like. No, we cuss, for example, when we was younger. Like, growing up on Ashburton Estate, it was strange. Everything that was called something black afterwards would seem as funny. So, you black fish, you black toad, you black ostrich. People would laugh. But what are you laughing at? You're laughing at the word black. You see what I'm saying? Because black is synonymous with everything of which is comical, disgusting, evil, and the more darker that your skin is, the more that's looked at as, how can I say, ugly, you know, unwanted. You know, but we see this.
It's very wrong.
We see this everywhere. You see this with women lightening up their skin colour in Jamaica, in Africa, certain parts. You know, because it's seen as a sense of intelligence.
They talk about mental health. They talk about mental health being a problem. Everyone's concerned with mental health, and I'm very much concerned with mental health.
Yeah.
But we can see there's mental health within the black community that's being ignored. In that sense, that
that's prevalent more than anything.
Being concerned about these things, but being ignored.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that whole thing, bleaching. That I can't get my head around that. I grew up wanting to be darker.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, my best mate's Alistair, my best mate was Reggie, my best mate Alistair, you know, he's African. So for me, it was like, I want to be darker. It was the opposite of. So, you know, and I kind of don't really understand this idea where people are trying to be, you know, and I looked at African people as being, you know, the original race of people.
Well, I think that's from...
That's where I came from. That mindset is like, you know, wow, my God, these people have endured.
Then you have the Darwin,
and they've not been changed. I looked at myself like, my God, I've been watered down, kind of thing. And that's how I viewed it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and how much of my blackness do I have? How much of my African genes do I still possess?
This is the trouble that a lot of people of mixed race go through. They go through that internal conflict with themselves, especially when you don't have, say, for example, without being too stereotypical, the black father, white mother. The black father's gone and left the kid, so the white woman's looking after him. You know, so therefore he's going to learn about English, British traditions, but also as well, the father is going to be depicted as the person that left their child away. So everything's synonymous with what he's about, and anything to do with his culture is seen as, you know, nasty, derogatory, and the mother won't show him that. You see what I'm saying? So when the kid goes to school, the white kids don't really take to him too tough and will call him this and that. The black kids will look at him and think to themselves, well, he ain't part of us really. He probably thinks he's better than us, which is unfortunately a big problem that mixed race kids have. You right there?
Yeah. I'm checking the cameras, man.
You're right there.
Make sure I've got your face on the camera. I'm still with you, man. Don't worry me.
Yeah, and mixed race kids.
Don't make me look bad. It's making everyone is making me look bad, like I'm not doing my job properly.
Yeah, mixed race kids. They feel that inferiority complex. Black kids will find that inferiority complex, especially between girls, which I found. Like, I didn't know no mixed race girl that was pretty that didn't get bullied, or boys, and And that must be, for a child, to be in that kind of gridlock.
You're talking about like seeing people getting bullied.
Yeah, because I'm talking about white and black though, where they're not accepted.
Exactly, from both sides.
They're not accepted from both sides.
Yeah. You
see what I'm saying?
The worst thing for me was my parents are black. So, you know, my mum and dad are black. But the fact is,
you had the lighter skin.
I'm a phoback. So for me, it was like, you know, but yeah, well, what's going on here? But I fought for it. I'm like, whatever. I fought for it. And I loved when they found out, you know, some people probably didn't give a toss, so they still thought, I'm going to bully this mofo anyway. Do you know what I mean? But that's just the way it works. You know, you can't, not everybody said, some people will feel differently about it. For me, that was my experience of it. And I think it's very valid what you put out there, and I appreciate everything you said today. Can I ask you one last question?
Go on.
Because, like, you know, this is a... no, actually, I have to ask you two, but let's go quick on these two ones.
Okay, cool, no problems.
Who would you vote for in the upcoming US elections, Biden or Trump?
Do I have to? It's like putting me in a pot of hell and then saying,
tell us why you wouldn't vote. Well, tell us quickly why you wouldn't vote for them. Tell me why you wouldn't vote for them.
Listen, Democrats and Republicans, it's all, as I said before, imagery. There is no real difference as you look at American politics between Democrats and Republicans, even though it's very much for the ethnic minorities and black and Latinos to go for the Democrats because it's seen as the best thing to do, and the Republicans are seen as the more of the kind of southern white conservative party to go to. But as we've seen through their laws and so forth, if you look at the laws itself, there isn't much difference. The whole imagery of Trump, I find deplorable, and that doesn't make me a Trump supporter. Let's get one thing straight, okay? Trump should.
You find it deplorable?
Yeah, people will find. Yeah, I find the way that the media have gone about their kind of exposure.
Which one?
Donald Trump.
Which one? Is that what's that?
Yeah, Donald Trump is misleading. But once again, you're kind of shrouding the policies that have happened within his administration. So, for example, I don't know if people know about the First Steps program. I don't think most people do, to tell the honest truth, which to me is one of the biggest policies for Afro-Americans since the Civil Rights Act in 1964, which was basically trying to get rid of all the issues within the 13th Amendment, of which criminalised black kids, with the Reagan wars in regards to where they infiltrated a lot of the black neighbourhoods with the crack cocaine, okay, and basically used that to give stupid sentences for menial possessions and so forth of this actual product which they actually put in, okay, and also the Super Predator program of Mrs. Clinton and so forth, and Joe Biden was a true advocate for that, okay. So when people talk about Trump...
So you think they knew who they were going after? They knew that was going to impact
the thing was that when that actual First Steps program was announced, that should be the biggest thing. That should be the one highlighted. Do you know what they talked about? What was trending? Whether Trump's got Alzheimer's or not.
Wow.
This is what I'm talking about.
So they push it under the rug.
Yeah, so it's like, what is the agenda?
Who's the president of the country? But I'm kind of going to go off on a tangent now, and I don't really want to, but it does make you think,
we all know that
the
president is the puppet, but with Trump, which is different from Trump is his own man, and we can see his coarseness, we can see how, what's the word I'm looking for, just his whole kind of demeanour and his whole protocol is just completely wrong. He says things which he shouldn't say, or not politically correct, should I say. But he's a reflection of America. If you want to look at America himself, this is the American dream. It looks nasty, doesn't it? But don't think for a second that by voting for Biden, that things are going to get any better. Because Biden's more of a historical look at American history. Because do people understand and appreciate that he was very much a pro... right there? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm checking it. I'm basically just checking everything's working on the camera. You guys are cutting me, man.
I didn't get me worried there. No, do people understand with Biden that Biden was very much about separation of black and ethnic minorities in educational systems and so forth. He was a keen advocate for that. So what are we fighting for here? Well, and that's the problem that we're finding in regards to the way that news is actually told to us and what we actually find out for ourselves more than anything. Because most people are fighting through images. But no one's actually been able to put any kind of political analysis on policies. And that's the problem we have here.
Because I think what we'd say to our viewers is that basically there's a lot of bias clearly involved here.
Very much so.
I think on both sides. And I think what people have to do their own research. I mean, I threw a question out to you, so whichever way you went with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm on the fence. I know enough about American politics to have a conversation about it.
To be honest with you, it's one of those questions of which I would find very hard to answer. If it really, really came down to it, I know it sounds mad, but I'd fight Trump.
Okay, thank you.
I would actually vote Trump. And I know it sounds crazy, but Biden's a whole different kettle of fish. And I think people need to actually, as I said before, do their research and find out more. But hey, I can't fight an American election, so
everyone's entitled to their view.
I know my view, but I can't.
No, everyone's entitled to view, and that's the point. That's the point here.
Yeah, so that's my view on it anyway. And
that's what we're about on Clusterview. We ask you to subscribe to our site, check out what we're doing. Find out more about Alie Jalloh, and everything, and his thoughts and his views. And I'm sure a lot of people will obviously agree with him. We'd appreciate that. All right, well, last question now.
Okay.
I've noticed from your Facebook post. I'm reading this, everyone. I'm not coming up with this stuff off the top of my head. Just know that. I've noticed from your Facebook post you have a real love of fashion.
Okay.
Can you perhaps share some of your fashion tips to someone like myself who has never bought anything remotely designer?
You never bought nothing designer?
No.
Nothing, never.
Never. Do you know there's, I've had lots of passed down stuff, but I've never actually bought myself. Okay. I'd go into Primark and buy a Primark pair of jeans before anything else any day of the week. Not that I've ever bought a Primark pair of jeans, but where do I go? I go to, in fact, my mum, bless her beautiful little soul, she took me shopping the other day. She tricked me into believing that she was taking me to do something else with me. I thought she wanted me to go to the council to help her out with something or whatever. And then she goes to me, son, do you know why you're here? I said, why, mum? She was like, because I want to buy you some jeans. I was like, why, mum? I've got jeans. She goes, yeah, but your jeans are terrible. She took me to Croydon High Street. I went round. I was like, my God. I did everything I could to make sure she wouldn't spend her very small amount of money on me. And but she did. She was willing to pay. I said, Mum, no. So she bought me 2 pairs of jeans, a black one and a blue pair. And I'm wearing one now.
Wearing them now.
I love these
I'm looking at it thinking, I look alright.
And they're proper cheap jeans, but you know what? I love it. I don't know how to spend money on this stuff.
It's not about. This is what I always say about fashion, and I've learned because, not being funny, when growing up where I grew up, it was all about your clothes. Your clothes give you that street cred. Your clothes give you that access pass to be with the cool guys or to meet those cool chicks. Certain garments will disclose you from that. Okay, so it's very much about dressing the right way. But as you get older, especially myself, you realise that fashion is what you want to make it and what you improvise. So I'm not into name brands as such. When I say that, I'm not into it being plastered over me, like, say, for example, Versace.
So we're on the same page then.
I don't do any of that. I will never wear Gucci, ever. I think people who wear Gucci are kidding themselves because... So
what should I be wearing? What should I wear? I mean, what kind of things could I...
Just dress you.
And I'm going to be me anyway, but it'd be nice to have a little tip.
It's like...
how can I make myself look a bit more...
Wait, the only thing I can say, do you feel comfortable the way you are?
It's just easy, man. It's just so easy.
Well, if that's easy for you, that's easy for you. You see, I'm not going to dress the way that I'm dressed if I'm going to go to, say, for example, a work function. Okay? I dress towards how I actually feel. And as I said before, for me, it's not about name brands or anything like that. Yeah, there's certain name brands I like. But I'm not going to go and spend £800 on a pair of fucking... Sorry, I shouldn't swear. On a pair of, say, Balenciaga trainers or Gucci belt for £400.
Balenciaga, what's that? I didn't heard that name.
Balenciaga, it's,
Wow.
don't worry, it's what all the kids are wearing these days and stuff
How
like
can
that.
kids afford that stuff?
Well, that's another story, isn't it? But kids have always have, you know, at the end of the day, there's always been, where there's a will, there's a way, you know. But yeah, just be you and enjoy yourself. I'm more of a trainer's man myself, as you can probably see. You know.
Do you want to show us your trainers that you're wearing today?
I'm wearing the
Why and what?
Adidas Bathing Apes today. Very sought after trainers. Had them for
I noticed
4
that they
years.
actually work with what you're wearing. There's like a combination thing going on.
I've got the True Religion.
So balance is
Camo.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've got the True Religion jeans on. I've got the True Religion top on. Do you know what I mean? But it's all about coordination. You know, that's the way.
I that know, so I wouldn't have known. I'd just be like, okay, he's wearing some torn jeans, and I wouldn't have known there's
But
anything
it all
more to
works in coordination. It's not really about the name. It's just how everything works towards the end game, so to speak. So I thought to myself today, what can I wear? What kind of style do I want? And the thing with my trainers have to match my clothes. So I don't just put on a pair of trainers and that's it. My trainers has to go with something that I'm wearing or what kind of image that I want to push on today, you know? So, yeah, with me and trainers, that's my main thing, because I just love trainers. I always have done since I was 13, 14. Now I'm in that kind of position where I can buy what trainers I want and so forth, and I've grown my trainer collection up to, you know, quite big proportions. But, you know, just enjoy. Just enjoy being you and what makes you, and don't let anybody try and dictate to you and tell you what you should wear or how you should wear it. Because there's no way in hell I wear Gucci or anything like that. Especially after the whole kind of hoo-ha with the blackface, do you remember? With the advertisements for Gucci? Doing all that kind of stuff there, you know.
I think I heard something. I'm sure someone sent me something. I said so many things.
All these other ones there, you know, what, I'm gonna wear their clothes? Like, you're fucking mad. No way. You know, I wouldn't wear none of that. You know, plus as well, who am I trying to kid? Like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not earning that kind of money to be spending £400 on a belt. But what you'll find is a lot of kids in the inner city will be buying the stuff more than the kids who can actually afford it. The affluent kids in the suburbs don't wear Gucci belts, but you'll easily find, you know, on the estate in the Elephant and Castle, some guy wearing a Gucci belt, you know, and that's the whole trick of it all. Just be you, do you, and enjoy yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll say one last thing. I think when I was growing up, it was C17s, wasn't it?
Oh, C17s, big star.
And I never wore that. I never got to wear C17.
That brings back
the
chippy as well. I think I posted. Do you know what the funny thing was? I see this thing on Chippy. Like, had all the old school, like we wear back in '88, had the chippy cords, had the chippy jacket, had the what trainers were they? The Nike Air Trainer 3, Nike Air Cross trainers. And I just thought to myself, just for nostalgic feel, let me just put it out there. And it just like, everyone who saw it, it was just like, oh my God, that brings me back. Oh, that brings me back. Do you know what I mean? So many likes and so many people just talking about the good old days. And that's me really. Like, I can't get with what the kids are doing now. I can't be wearing them skinny jeans and, I don't know, them mad trainers they're wearing and all this Supreme stuff. Because that's not my time link. I'm very much a person that's like back in the day when I was getting into the whole kind of fashion thing and you know, getting into all the chippies and the Chevions and big stars, you know, and then moving that on to go into the Ralph Lauren and the Versace and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, fashion's fashion, and fashion's what you make it. Don't let anybody try and dictate to you what it should be.
Thank you very much. So from us, Alie Jalloh, say goodbye to the viewers.
Bless everyone for listening to me. I hope I haven't pulled you off too much, but yeah, thanks so much for having me on here, man. It's been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it, everyone. Please check us out. I said cluster.view on Instagram, clusterview.com. Go to our Facebook page, Clusterview. Check us out. We'll be posting this up as well. Hope you enjoy what we're doing here. Thank you very much for your time.
Peace.